Week 11 of the NFL on CBS. We've got a great atmosphere for this big game in the AFC South. Tennessee swept the season series last year, first time since 2002. It's a series that Indianapolis has dominated for the most part since 2008. First meeting of the season between Mike Vrabel and Frank Reich. They'll play again Week 17 in Nashville. Titans just one game behind the Texans. Indianapolis comes in two back. They've won 3 in a row. And Marcus Mariota will get the football first. That's because the Colts won the toss, and they have elected to defer.
Andrew, I think it's pretty interesting that these two teams are squaring off against each other under new head coaches because everything is different. You see things on film, but as a defensive lineman, how do you really react to that double team? As the guys playing in the secondary, they've got this fast guy I've seen on film, but I haven't seen him in person under this staff, so there's a lot of newness in this ball game.
Rigoberto Sanchez kicks it off. Darius Jennings will let it go, and the Titans will start at the 25-yard line. Marcus Mariota leading the Titans to 2 impressive victories in a row over the Dallas Cowboys, and then last week against New England. He's 2-3 in his career against the Colts. We met with him last night, finally healthy. The elbow injury week 1 against Miami. Lost feeling in his fingers, had to wear a glove after he came back, but he ditched the glove during the bye week, has not worn it the last 2 games, and you've seen the results. 2 wins for Mariota and the Titans. 8 touchdowns in their last 2 games, and they start on the ground with Dion Lewis, and he gets a couple of yards. Darius Leonard, who leads the NFL in tackles this year, give him 97 now on the season. This is the 5th straight game. The Colts, check it, actually the Titans now, as you see the offensive coordinator, Matt LaFleur, has done a great job for the Tennessee Titans in his first season, coming over from the Rams, where he did not call the plays last year. He keeps Dion Lewis in at running back, and on second down, a flag is down. Our referee today is John Hussey.
Offside. Defense number 96. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
In our meeting, we talked to Marcus Mariota about that shotgun snap, and you see a lot of quarterbacks in college who clap their hands together. Well, you're not allowed to do that in the NFL, but he uses his voice, that voice inflection, to get the offense to move there.
See the Colts defense on the bottom of your screen. Nate Hairston and Malik Hooker, 2 starters out in the secondary today because of injury. On 2nd and 3, Dion Lewis has the first down and spinning his way across the 40 to the 44-yard line. George Odom on the tackle after a gain of 12.
You're going to run right up the middle, but then you're going to bounce it to the outside, and that's what Dion Lewis does. He gets back to the outside because you had that great vision, and you had the whole offensive line collapsing that defensive front.
Mariota to the air, and he's got a wide-open man in Jonnu Smith, the tight end, spun out by Kenny Moore. But a good start to this drive for the Tennessee Titans, who last week against New England scored on their first 3 possessions. 2 touchdowns and a field goal. 9-yard pickup for Jonnu Smith. It's 2nd down and 1. Titans go slow on offense. They average 30 seconds in between snaps. That's the 2nd longest amount of time in the NFL. Only the Chargers take a longer time between snaps.
Corey Davis inside.
They swing it to Cameron Batson, and Batson cuts back in to get the first down. Nice move by the undrafted rookie out of Texas Tech to move the chains for Tennessee.
You know, we were talking to Corey Davis the other day, and he mentioned Batson. We talked about, what do you think the first time you saw him? Like, well, he's kind of small, but when he saw him play on the field, so he's tough. He'll lay a shoulder into anybody.
As you can see his heart out there. Corey Davis said that about Batson. It's Lewis again. And James, we continue to see Tennessee ride Dion Lewis. Look at the snap totals last week. Just 15 snaps for Derrick Henry. And it was Dion Lewis who had a season-high 20 carries against the Patriots. Here's Corey Davis. He's got Jonnu Smith in front of him. Davis was tackled at the 42 by George Odom, and it brings up third down.
That's really a nice tackle by George Odom because he has to come a long way to get Corey Davis on this reverse, and he's out in the open field. It's one-on-one. He beat the block of Taylor Lewan rather, and once he did that, he was able to make the tackle.
All right, so third down and 6 for Tennessee, and this crowd making some noise. Titans 43% on third downs this season, 10th best in the NFL. Mariota over the middle to Davis, and he's got the first down. Kenny Moore on the tackle. But that is now 14 catches on third down for Corey Davis this year that have resulted in a first down, 4th best in the NFL. Now in his second year out of Western Michigan. Set an FBS record with over 5,200 receiving yards and was the number 5 overall pick in the draft. Big game last week, 7 catches, 125 yards and a score. 8th play of the opening drive. Mariota, great block, and he finds Stocker, and he couldn't hold on. Coverage by Clayton Geathers. And the Titans offensive line looking for a penalty there. It looked like the nose tackle jumped offside.
He was quick to the snap count. I'll give him that much. And when you can get off that fast like Al Woods did, you're in the backfield, you beat the blocker, you disrupted everything about the play. You saw Marcus Mariota had to get rid of this ball just a tick early. Didn't get enough on it to get it to the receiver.
Great block by Dion Lewis on Al Woods, the former member of the Titans. Second down and 10. It's Lewis trying the left side. And Lewis across the 35, not much more than that. And once again, Tennessee looking at third down. Al-Quadin Muhammad on the tackle.
It'll be interesting to see what Tennessee does defensively. The last defensive look was a real soft zone. You let them throw the ball underneath, which they did to Corey Davis. He caught a 3-yard pass, was able to fall forward for a couple more yards. Now it's 3rd and 8. Do you tighten up with man-to-man coverage and bring a little extra pressure? Colts haven't had a lot of sacks lately. They want to get their pass rush reignited.
No sacks in their last 2 games. 3rd and 8. Mariota, pressure coming, and there's the sack. Jabal Sheard, one of the first, along with Kenny Moore. And at long last, this Colts defense with a sack.
You talk about pressure, you're bringing a lot of people. You've got some free runners, guys at the quarterback as soon as he puts his foot back to commit on his drop. And you get that pressure on a quarterback, that's going to shake him up for the rest of the day. And it also pushes the Titans back out of field goal range.
An 8-yard loss on the play, and out comes the punter Brett Kern with Chester Rogers back in at his own 8-yard line. Fair catch called at the 9. 9:20 to go. First quarter, Andrew Luck ready to go to work here on CBS. Opening drive for Andrew Luck and the Colts. What a season so far for Luck. 26 touchdowns, second in the NFL only to Patrick Mahomes in 32 consecutive games with at least 1 passing touchdown. That's the longest active streak. He has not been sacked in 185 consecutive dropbacks, 6th longest since 1991. T.Y. Hilton. They get him in some space and a 9-yard pickup for the 7th-year man out of Florida International. 4 consecutive games, and Indianapolis has not allowed a sack. It's very close to 5, as that last sack was week 5 on the opening drive against the Patriots at Foxborough. And on 2nd and 1, Marlon Mack pushing forward, and it looks like he's got a Colts first down.
It's funny, we were talking to Frank Reich about the streak, and he said it's going to end at some point. And we're not going to collapse just because it happened. So, you know, they wanted the offensive linemen take a great deal of pride about it. The receivers, they're getting open. The quarterback getting the ball out. So everybody is invested in this streak that's going on right now with Andrew Luck staying upright and nice and clean.
Frank Reich praised his right tackle, Braden Smith, saying, quote, he's exceeded expectations. A guard in college making the transition to tackle here. 5th consecutive game this offensive unit has started together. Luck on the move and fires to the sideline. And did T.Y. Hilton hang on right in front of Mike Vrabel? He did. So T.Y. Hilton, who had only 4 catches combined in his last 2 games, already has 2 on the first 3 plays.
T.Y. Hilton one-on-one. It's a tough assignment, but an interesting wrinkle for the Titans on defense. They're going with 3 defensive backs against 2 wide receivers. They're considering Eric Ebron as a wide receiver, and they're matching up a cornerback opposite him.
Colts can do so many different things. Right now they have Nyheim Hines, the running back, in motion. Luck swings it to Hines and he dropped it. The rookie out of NC State was not able to hold on. It's 2nd and 10. Defensively for Tennessee, the #1 scoring defense under the direction of Dean Pease. They give up just 16 points per game. That's tops in the NFL. And number 6 in yards allowed, allowing just 328 per game. 2nd down and 10 with 7:41 to go in the opening quarter. It's a pitch to Mack. Mack cannot turn the corner. Adoree Jackson coming up to make a nice tackle.
3 tight end look in. You put 1 tight end over here. He's your lead blocker, kind of steal the end. But that pile created, forced the runner to go outside, and Adoree Jackson comes up, takes out the legs of Mack.
Well, this is where the Colts have been so good this year on 3rd down. #1 in the NFL at 52%. Well, this is a long one. It's 3rd down and 9. Luck, good protection, fires right, pick it up. Malcolm Butler got a hand on that one. Mike Vrabel said Butler played his best game of the season last week, and a nice start today.
It's an on-time throw. It's a little bit behind Ryan Grant, but that's great coverage by Malcolm Butler. He has his eyes on the receiver. When those hands of the receiver go up, he swats at the hands, knocks the ball away.
His 6th pass defense of the season. And now a punt for Rigoberto Sanchez. With Adoree Jackson back deep. Good boot by Sanchez. Jackson will let it bounce at the 25. It takes a Colts hop inside the 15 and down at the 13. A 53-yard boot for Sanchez. Still scoreless in Indy.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Macy's, Dell, and the XPS 13 with Dell Cinema, and by Ford. We build things we're proud of.
Both head coaches, former NFL players. Mike Vrabel, 14 years with the Patriots for the good portion of his career, and Frank Reich, 13 years in the NFL, played with James in Buffalo. Titans backed up to start their 2nd drive. They begin it on the ground with Dion Lewis, and the Colts run defense is right there. But James, let's go back to the last Tennessee possession on 3rd down. A very rare blitz for the Colts. How rare? That's just the 6th time this year they've blitzed on 3rd down. The league average is 26. Colts do not send a lot of guys. They did that time, and it paid off for Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator.
It's interesting. You mentioned that blitz, and on this last 1st down play, they blitzed against the run. So they have given the Titans a bit of their own medicine, and coming in there, Kenny Moore kind of got his neck twisted around a little bit. He's up. He's jogging off the field, so hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, remember, the Colts a little thin at corner today as Nate Hairston is out for his 2nd straight game with an ankle injury. So Quincy Wilson into the ball game. Second down and 12. Mariota over the middle. It's caught by his tight end Stocker and wrestled down to the ground where it'll be 3rd down.
there is a certain amount of patience that the quarterback is required when you play against a zone team, specifically what you call that Tampa 2, too deep, with middle linebacker running down the hole. That look requires that you take what's given to you underneath, and occasionally if they switch that up and give you something else, you've got to be able to execute it against those also.
5.5 to go, opening quarter, 3rd down and 7. Still have not seen Derrick Henry. Dion Lewis at running back.
Here's that too deep look in the back.
Colts blitzing again on 3rd down. Mariota eludes it, steps up, fires on the run, incomplete. So how about that? Colts had blitzed 5 times the whole year on 3rd down. They've done it twice in the first quarter.
Like I said, these two teams have been looking at each other on film. They haven't faced each other on the field. So the Colts decide we're going to do some things a little differently. We're not going to let you just sit in the pocket, be comfortable like you thought you would. You're going to have open receivers, but if you're being pressured, you can't get to them.
Second punt for Kern. Rodgers from his 27. He's got a little room to run. Across the 40, Rodgers with some blockers in front. Into Tennessee territory at the 30. Down the sideline. 10-5. Touchdown. A late flag comes in. A tremendous return by Rodgers, but will it stand? And the Titans indicating it's against Indianapolis on the return.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 32. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
It's on Arthur Mollett.
Watch Dane Cruikshank, number 29. He does a fabulous acting job pulling off the holding call. We didn't get it to look at it right there, but he was throwing up an arm, flailing like he was drowning in deep water.
Colts will still have great field position at the 33.
Back here in Indy with zeros on the scoreboard, Dane Cruikshank grew up in Southern California. Maybe he ought to make his way to Hollywood. He does a great job selling the holding call here. Look at that arm flailing around. I'm being held. Somebody throw the flag and save me.
It worked, though. A 51-yard return for Rodgers sets up Indianapolis in great field position, and Mack is tripped up by Darius Kilgo, their 3rd-year man out of Maryland.
Andrew, sometimes we build this as quarterback against quarterback, but think about all the accolades that this offensive line from the Colts have been getting. And if you're playing on the defensive line for the Titans, you're going, hey, we're pretty good too. Look at our stats. Look at our numbers. And right now it's kind of an even battle between the two.
3 tight ends out for Indianapolis. Alley Cox, Doyle, and Ebron. 2nd down and 7. Luck, play fake. Looking for one of those tight ends. Fires for more. Alley Cox, and he tried the one-hander, which we saw for his first NFL touchdown in Oakland, but not that time. A little bit too high for the former VCU basketball player.
2 tight ends. You're running a corner post combination. You just got to drop that ball in the bucket. Andrew Luck will be the first to tell you just put too much mustard on that. The accuracy was there, but the velocity was much too much.
And he was open, and that's the challenge of defending these Colts with their 3 tight end sets. 3 straight incompletions for Andrew Luck, and now faced with 3rd and 7. Luck to Doyle. Doyle stretches forward, and it's going to be very close to a 1st down. Malcolm Butler on the tackle. Mike Vrabel indicating it should be 4th down. And John Hussey disagrees. He gives Indianapolis a 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. And the Colts will huddle up with 3:40 to go in the first quarter.
And they were also given a fresh 25 seconds on the play clock there because of the movement of the chains late. So now they have that time in the pocket. Look at the targets for the tight ends and everything they've been able to do. So they are truly something that the Tennessee Titans are very, very well aware of.
15 receiving touchdowns for the Colts tight ends this year. Luck. And a nice job coming back to the ball by Zach Pascal. Again, Malcolm Butler on the coverage, but it's a gain of 11.
The interesting thing about Malcolm Butler, he had been victimized because he had been taking his eyes off the wide receiver. That time he kept his eyes on the wide receiver, and the Colts kind of knew that that might be in the back of his head, so they fired that little shortstop fade right at him, knowing that he was going to eye up the receiver and not look for the ball.
Good matchup here now. Colts tied for 9th in the red zone, but the Tennessee defense number 1, 34% this year.
There's Eric Ebron in the slot for you.
It's a handoff to Hines, trying to get around the edge, and Butler missed a tackle. Hines down to the 4-yard line. Nyheim Hines, pickup of 8.
Boy, that was a great setup by Hines. He came around the corner, and then he put on the stutter steps, and then he turned on the power to run through the arm tackle of Malcolm Butler.
2nd down and 2. Ball just inside the 5-yard line. It's Hines again up the middle. Hines to the 3 and then pushed back. It's going to be close to a first down. Colts able to get a first down without scoring. You see the red zone matchup this year. How about Andrew Luck's numbers in the red zone this season? 20 touchdown passes, just 1 interception. And the guy that he looks for, obviously, Eric Ebron. He's got 6 red zone touchdowns, but T.Y. Hilton has 4 red zone touchdowns. Hilton not in there right now. Zach Pascal, the receiver at the bottom of your screen. And Luck gets him to jump.
They knew it. They talked about it. His voice inflection, but Andrew Luck got him there.
Encroachment. Defense number 99. After this field goal, first down.
2nd straight week, Jarrell Casey jumps off sides. And we met with Jayon Brown last night, the Titans linebacker. He said that Mike Vrabel, Dean Pease emphasized the cadence this week at practice. It was something they obviously knew Luck is very good at, and Luck won the battle that time. So 1st and goal with Marlon Mack in at running back. There's Hilton in motion. It's a give to Mack. Following his blocks and into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Marlon Mack's 4th rushing touchdown of the year. And a rare red zone touchdown allowed by the Tennessee defense.
A week ago, the Colts ran the jet sweep with Eric Ebron, their big tight end. This time they put T.Y. Hilton in that same jet sweep motion, attracts the eyes of the defense, and Marlon Mack plows into the end zone.
Now here's Adam Vinatieri for the extra point, and the kick is good. A 7-play drive that took only 3.5 minutes. All set up by the Chester Rogers punt return. 7-0 Colts.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Walt Disney World Resort and by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you.
Some great views of Indianapolis from the Canal Walk, and the hometown Colts out to a 7-0 lead. Marlon Mack, with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, now has the 4 rushing scores, also 1 through the air, and it gives Indianapolis a 7-0 lead with 1:15 to go in the opening quarter. And another touchback for Rigoberto Sanchez. Tonight on CBS, a little faith goes a long way. Don't miss a new episode of God Friended Me. Tonight after 60 minutes, only CBS.
My new favorite show.
Yeah, you've mentioned that a few times. You're into it. Well, it has to be a CBS show, otherwise you probably wouldn't have said it, would you?
They've got some jazz going on in the show that you didn't expect, and a lot of things are happening.
Kenny Moore, you saw him hobbled on that last Tennessee offensive possession. He's back out there for the Colts at corner with the play clock at 2. And our first sign of Derrick Henry. Mariota, Henry off his hands and incomplete. That was dangerous, and now a very late flag comes in from the secondary.
That took a long time to develop, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were blocking downfield.
Pass interference. Offense, number 19. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Instead, they get offensive pass interference on Tajay Sharp.
Yeah, you know, screens have a rhythm to them, and it's 1 count, 2 counts, maybe 3 counts. And if you're a wide receiver on a screen that's supposed to happen very quickly, you run, you kind of settle your feet for a second, then you take on the defensive back as a blocker. That screen was disjointed a little bit, thus the offensive pass interference by the wide receiver.
And when we met with Frank Reich, he said one of the big keys defensively, defend the screen. He said his team, the Colts, have not done a good job of that this year. Here's Derrick Henry, his first carry today. And he gets a couple of yards. Darius Leonard in on the tackle for Indianapolis, the impressive rookie out of South Carolina State.
When you get a 1st and 20 drive, if you're on defense, you don't want to ease up on first down. You want to try and clamp down just like the Colts did there. Now they are in the driver's seat. They're going to force the Tennessee Titans to put the ball in the air, to throw it down the field. You got to remember, Dion Lewis is in the ballgame. He can always be a viable person as a screening back.
2nd down and 18, low snap. Mariota fields it, steps up. He's going to keep it himself across the 20 and slides down at the 26-yard line. That could be the final play of the opening quarter, a 9-yard gain for Mariota.
His ability to step on the gas and exit the pocket is something that you only realize once you're on the field with him. You can see it on film, but when he decides to go, he can scoot.
Mariota will walk off, and the Titans will discuss a big 3rd and 9 coming up when we come back. We're through 1, 7-0 Colts. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Mike Vrabel and the Titans down 7-0 at the start of the 2nd quarter. Tennessee has won 6 in a row against division opponents. It's tied for their longest streak since joining the AFC South in 2002. And including today, 4 of their final 7 games are against the AFC South. Big 3rd and 9 to start the 2nd quarter. Jennings in motion.
Open side pressure on this side.
Here comes the pressure. Mariota delivers over the middle for a first down. It's Corey Davis, and a flag comes in as Davis is tackled at the 48-yard line. A gain of 31 if it stands, which it appears it will.
Looked like they were trying to punch the ball out, and when they came across, came across his face mask. You see Kenny Moore, who's in hot pursuit. He tries to swipe at him and hits that face mask.
After discussion on the field, there is no foul for a face mask. First down.
I like that call. I think he hit it more than he grabbed it. Mariota does a nice job in shuffling to get a little more time and then laying that ball in for the pocket. We talked to Corey Davis. He talked about a catchable ball that Mariota throws, because that ball, which was maybe half a step behind him, if it's thrown really hard, it's going to glance off his hands.
So 1st down and 10 from the 49-yard line for Tennessee. It's Henry with his 2nd carry. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage. The ball sheared on the tackle, and a flag comes in again. Penalty marker down with 14:25 to go in the first half. Against Tennessee.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty. First down.
On the receiver, Corey Davis.
I talked to wide receiver coach Rob Moore before the game, and he talked about Corey Davis, his receivers. They understand the importance of blocking. We saw the pass interference call on the first play, blocking out of the slot there because you're trying to help out in the run game. Sometimes you just have to be a little smarter, even though you're exerting great effort.
Empty backfield for Mariota. And looking, picked off! Quincy Wilson! Spun down by Jonnu Smith. But it's the first interception of the season for Quincy Wilson. His second career interception, and the Colts as a team will go down in the end zone and pose. That's Jacoby Brissett who ran on the field, the backup quarterback getting in the picture. Turnover by Mariota and the Titans. The Colts defense has now forced at least one turnover in every game this season as Marcus Mariota, who's been playing so well of late, his first interception in the last 3 games. So Indianapolis takes over at their own 41.
Let's see how aggressive they are after this sudden change.
Luck to the air, finds Doyle over the middle for a first down. Kenny Vaccaro on the tackle after a 15-yard pickup. Let's go back to the pick, James.
Well, you're going to see a couple things here. Number one, you're going to see Derrick Henry, who's open, but also great vision by the corner here because he's looking there and he's looking all the way back to the cornerback. So Quincy Wilson, textbook play by him.
Second career interception. And now the Colts quickly into Tennessee territory. First down and 10. Luck, right back to Doyle. He's got a little room to run. A first down again for Doyle. Tripped up by Wesley Woodyard. But back-to-back completions, this one for 15.
In real estate, they talk about location, location, location. For Andrew Luck, it's been about protection, 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 because Doyle helped with the blocking assignment, and then he's out in the flat late. So down the field you look, but where's my comfort zone getting the ball to Doyle in the flat?
Colts love to go quick. Luck will hand it off to Mack up the middle. Kevin Byard with the tackle at the 21, but 6 more yards as this drive rolls on. Frank Reich has done such a great job calling plays for this Colts offense. So many different weapons, so many different ideas, and you're seeing that really come to fruition over this 3-game win streak. Second and 4. Luck in trouble, steps up, fires, caught at the 10-yard line. T.Y. Hilton, his 3rd catch of the half. And it's first and goal for the Colts.
If you had turned on the film of the Colts, you hadn't seen a lot from T.Y. Hilton, but he's always there. He's a constant. Yeah, the tight ends have been huge. They've been big the last couple of weeks. But now when you put everybody together, you've got the head spinning 360 degrees if you're playing in the secondary for the Titans now, because you don't know who to watch. Coach said the tight ends are the guys you got to worry about. T.Y. Hilton is always a constant #1 threat.
Luck 3 for 3 for 43 yards on this drive. First and goal from the 9. Luck comes back and hits Doyle at the 5, wrestled down by Logan Ryan after a gain of 5. And again, no huddle for Indianapolis. They have Dontrell Inman out there. Andrew Luck and Frank Reich continue to rave about the pickup of Inman. Luck looking for Inman, batted down. He had his sights set on Inman, but it was Austin Johnson getting a hand on it, and now 3rd and goal.
Gives the Titans a chance to send in some designated pass rushers. And if you can't get to him, you're a big defensive lineman. You know you're near the goal line. You know how far he's got to throw. He's probably got to throw it on a line.
Austin Johnson using his 6'4" frame to knock that one down. On 3rd and goal, Hines flips it back to Ebron, looking for Luck. He dives and it's incomplete. Oh, that would have brought the house down. Ebron led Luck a little too much. Frank Reich, remember, of course, the Eagles offensive coordinator last year. Similar play that they ran in the Super Bowl.
Maybe a little too much and a little too inside. Andrew Luck, that's a pretty good looking dive for a quarterback.
Would have been his first career catch. And Frank Reich told us they're just having so much fun on offense. That quarterback meeting that Reich sits on, Frank told us that he can't wait to get there every morning to sit on that meeting. You can see the fun they're having. Doesn't result in 6, but it does result in 3. The field goal by Vinatieri, and now a 10-0 Indianapolis lead. Nearly the catch by Luck.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Honda. Hurry into the Happy Honda Day sales event today. Walmart. Light up Christmas at Walmart. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The Soldiers and Sailors Monument in downtown Indianapolis, honoring Indiana soldiers who have served. The Colts with a 10-0 lead after nearly having Eric Ebron throw a touchdown pass to Andrew Luck. Sanchez, another touchback. That's big because Darius Jennings leads the NFL in kick return average this year, 35 yards per return. This past Monday, the day after Veterans Day, Colts players, cheerleaders, and mascot Blue visited the Rodebush VA Medical Center here in Indianapolis, where they distributed care packages and spent time with military veterans at the hospital.
You know, that normally, like you say, takes place on the players' days off, and they beg for these assignments. I want to go. You're going where? Let me go. My dad was in. My mom was in. So hats off to those young men who went out to visit the veterans.
Let's see how Mariota responds after the interception that led to 3 points. Dion Lewis at running back, and he takes the handoff. And hit hard by Tyquan Lewis. The rookie playing just his second NFL game at his debut last week after missing the beginning of the season because of that injury. Second round pick out of Ohio State. Second down and 7. It's a play fake. Mariota on the move. He's going to keep it himself across the 30, and he's going to be a yard shy of a first down.
That's good pursuit. You get a run look that's headed to the left and get the bootleg by Mariota. He sticks that ball out, and then everybody takes off full speed. You know that there's going to be somebody in the flat. You've got another receiver behind you about 15 to 20 yards crossing the field. So good coverage, forcing Mariota to pull the ball down, to run it, set up this 3rd and 1.
Dion Lewis at running back. It is Lewis fighting and pushed back. He did not get there. Al Woods on the stop. Now, coming into the game on 3rd and 4th and 1, when Mariota keeps it, he's converted all 8 of his rushing attempts. They do not go with the QB sneak there, and they do not get a first down.
And if you're a Tennessee Titans fan, you also realize you've got Derrick Henry, 6'3", 247 pounds, on the sideline. Yes, Lewis has been effective, but you're looking at a big guy who's just a hammer.
Henry still only has 1 carry in the first half. Good boot by Kern. Rodgers, fair catch at his own 13. 9:01 to go, first half. Colts 10, Titans nothing on CBS. Colts trying to win their 4th straight game. It would be the first time since the 2014 season. They take over with a 10-0 lead at their own 13-yard line. Andrew Luck so far today, 8 out of 12 for 87 yards passing.
170!
Luck to the air. Sit down, incomplete. Pressure was coming. Luck got rid of it, looking for Marlon Mack.
A couple of kind of critical things right here as you have the ball backed up, and if you're the Colts, defensively you've played well to this point. You're up 10-0. You really need to kind of balance the field to get the tilt of the field back against the Titans. So you need some first downs here. You can't just go 3 and out and punt the ball away.
Still no sacks. 199 consecutive dropbacks now for Luck without being sacked.
Does one of those count Eric Ebron throwing the ball?
No.
170!
You're right, 198 would be for Luck and then 1 for Ebron. You're right, it does count. No sack.
Yeah, well, why not? And I think on the sideline, Eric Ebron probably went over to Andrew and said, hey, you didn't run that route the right way. You got to kind of bend more for
I don't know about that. I think Ebron's saying I should have thrown that a little bit better. Marlon Mack gets 7 yards, so 3rd down and 3. Ebron still without a catch.
Look at this defensive front right there.
Luck over the middle, caught for a first down. It's Inman at the 32-yard line. Tackle made by Malcolm Butler. A 12-yard pickup for Dontrell Inman.
Dontrell Inman was a wide receiver when Nick Sirianni was the wide receiver coach for the San Diego Chargers. In 2016, he stepped up. He started all 16 games. He had 58 receptions, over 800 yards. So when you come in and you know the essence of the offense, he just came right in. Off the street, has been a contributor for this offense. They really love him as a pro, as a player in the locker room.
Luck, deep shot down the field. T.Y. Hilton, he's got him. Hilton on his feet. 5 and zone. Touchdown. 68 yards.
We're going to put our fastest guy, T.Y. Hilton, against your fastest guy, Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson was a great sprinter at the University of Southern California. T.Y. Hilton said, "No, I don't know anything about Southern California. I'm from Florida International, and I know I can fly." T.Y.
His first 4 touchdowns this year, all in the red zone. They covered a total of 14 yards. This one goes for 68. The longest Indianapolis pass play this season. And Vinatieri makes it 17-0.
Remember what I said about getting in good field position to punt? Forget about that, Andrew.
Colts are rolling. This offense absolutely on fire as Hilton is able to get in the end zone for his 5th score of the year. The Colts now have scored 17 points in the last 9 minutes. Tennessee's defense, #1 in the league this year. They give up only 16 points per game. And it's 33 games in a row for Luck, with at least 1 passing touchdown, the longest active streak in the NFL. And another touchback as Sanchez continues to neutralize Darius Jennings. Let's go back to the touchdown.
When you have great time in the pocket, nobody's pressuring you like Andrew Luck has had for the last 5.5 weeks. You're going to have that vision down the field. So you're thinking deep. Is the deep route there? Nobody's in center field. I know I got my guy. Just let him run right under it.
And now a lot of pressure on this Titans offense to come to life. They have just 74 yards in the first half. Derrick Henry is out there to start this drive. Batson. And Batson shoved out at the 30-yard line by Quincy Wilson. 5-yard gain with 7:22 to go in the first half.
That ability to rally to the ball, to hustle. There was a lot more there when they first completed that pass. But the hustle, getting to the ball, not allowing the runner have a cutback angle to get back into the inside. Another fine play by Quincy Wilson. He had the interception and the tackle there on first down.
It's a give to Henry. And Margus Hunt greets him at the 30, and Henry gets to the 31. Will bring up a big 3rd down for Tennessee. What an atmosphere here in Indianapolis today. At halftime, Reggie Wayne will be the 15th member inducted into the Colts Ring of Honor. A lot of his former teammates here today, including Peyton Manning. Got a seat to be had, and they are making some noise on this 3rd down play.
Right at the bottom, Toure, designated pass rusher in the game.
Mariota in trouble, and he's sacked, and he lost the football. Taylor Lewan fell on it. Nearly a very dangerous play, but it was Darius Leonard forcing the fumble. That's his 4th forced fumble of the year.
It starts as 4-man pressure, but when you keep the back end to block, you're going to also attract the linebacker, and there comes Leonard late He had the back in coverage. The back stayed in the block. He comes in to clean up Marcus Mariota.
Teray showing his speed off the edge, did not play in the win over Jacksonville last week because of a neck injury. A 3 and out. This Titans offense just cannot get going as Rodgers on the return from his 15. Had a big one earlier in the game. A flag is down. And so is Rodgers at the 30-yard line.
Legal block in the back. Receiving team number 14. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Penalty is on Zach Pascal with 5:23 to go in the second quarter. Tennessee needs their defense to step up here. This is a danger spot already with 5:23 to go in the first half. Colts with the football and a 17-point lead. Following the penalty, the ball is at the 15-yard line. Luck taking another deep shot for Hilton, not this time. Adoree Jackson a little too tight and a flag is down.
Pass interference. Defense, number 25. The ball placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
James, the Titans came in as the least penalized team in the NFL. Only 41 penalties on the season. That's already their fourth in the first half.
Well, the last two times the Colts have thrown the ball, you had a completion for over 60 yards, 40-yard pass interference call right there. So it's a skill to garnering that pass interference call. Great job by T.Y. Hilton.
Ball's at midfield, high snap. Luck bobbles and still completes it to Grant. Grant hit hard at the 42. A gain of 8 for Ryan Grant. Frank Reich has just gotten such a groove calling plays. 3-game win streak. During the streak, the Colts have averaged 36 points per game. And the sacks still such a key part of this Indianapolis success. No sacks once again today allowed by the Colts offensive line.
But they weren't bad during that 1 and 5 at 25 points a game.
No.
Their defense was giving up 30, so, you know, yeah, great play call.
Kill! Hey, 170! What's up?
It's a pitch to Mack. And Marlon Mack is going to be very close to a first down. Looks to be a half-yard shy. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
The Colts running back coach, Tom Rathman, great player with the 49ers. He's been coaching for a long time. When he coached with the San Francisco 49ers, 10 out of the 14 years that they were there, they were top 10 in the league in rushing. When they watch that play on film, you've got 2 yards to pick up. You pick up those 2 yards. You don't dance around. You get us the first down. Keep our momentum going.
This time Mack has the first down.
That's it.
Vaccaro on the tackle, but not before Mack moves the chains. Inside 4 minutes to go in the opening half. It's been all Indianapolis to this point.
And if you're Mike Vrabel and this defensive staff, you're trying to figure out a way to kind of stop the bleeding here. Do we need to blitz? Do we need to play more zone? They almost had 12 guys on the field. Malcolm Butler just rushed off.
Luck, plenty of time. Finds a wide open Hines. Look at the room to run for Hines inside the 20 and out of bounds around the 15. Shades of last week when Indianapolis had so many open receivers against Jacksonville. Nobody near Hines on that 20-yard pickup.
It's a 2-man deep route, but you're going to start with 8-man protection. The back is going to stop right there, and you're going to allow the 2 receivers to go deep. And once the linebackers turn and run to find out who's behind them, they forget about who's in front of them. Lots of green grass or green turf.
Jordan Wilkins in at running back.
170!
First down and 10. It's a pitch to Wilkins. And Wilkins inside the 10, 5, dives, and he's in. Touchdown! The Colts pouring it on. And for Jordan Wilkins, that's his first NFL touchdown.
I'm loving the skill guys, but this Colts offensive line is putting on a clinic. Whether it's pass protection, play action passing, getting out in front of the runners, pulling. This is outstanding.
Vinatieri out for the extra point. And the Colts have now scored at least 24 points in 7 consecutive games. Their longest streak since 2005 when they had 10 in a row.
Out in front, you saw center Ryan Kelly pulling, going, diving after 2 guys. So 2 guys for the center, that's A++.
Now, James, we've just received word from the Titans that their defensive coordinator, Dean Pease, was experiencing a medical issue during the game, was tended to by medical personnel, and then taken to a local hospital for further observation here in Indianapolis. So we just found this out. We certainly wish Dean Pease a speedy recovery. And Mike Vrabel, who called the defense now for Houston last year as the defensive coordinator, you would assume that he would take over.
He's going to be thrust into that role now.
The play calling, but can't imagine what the Titans feeling on that sideline to know that Dean is not there right now, and we certainly again wish him all the best, their defensive coordinator. 24-0 in favor of the Colts. Sanchez again with a touchback. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, and Coach Cower. All the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. You got to imagine that Boomer Esiason, who used to be teammates at Maryland with Frank Reich, is going to have a few kind words to say about his former teammate. 24 points in the first half.
He's probably thinking he wish he had Frank to call plays for him when he was playing.
Titans got to try to find some way to get on the scoreboard here before halftime. Remember, the Colts get the ball to start the second half. Mariota, the keeper, and he's hit hard. It was Anthony Walker saying hello to the Titans QB.
Well, we had a chance to meet with Anthony Walker, and you talk about an exceptional young man, a National Honor Society guy when he was in high school. Goes to Northwestern, 235, comes into the league, drops to 225 so he can play this middle linebacker position.
Mariota has some time and finds the open man. It's Stocker. And Stocker inbounds. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning, though. Can the Titans get a drive going here before halftime? We're back in a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by the Spark Cash Card from Capital One.
Colts fans will be staying in their seats during halftime. There's the banner that will be unveiled as Reggie Wayne will be the 15th member inducted into the Colts Ring of Honor. A lot of his former teammates in attendance, including Peyton Manning, will be on hand for the halftime ceremony. 1:57 to go. Both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining. Mariota, and he completes it to his tight end, Jonnu Smith. Colts are insisting the ball came out.
Well, it'll be reviewed. We're under 2 minutes, so you can't throw the red flag, challenge flag out there. So the booth should look at it.
Unless they don't stop it, which they don't. 2nd and 5. Mariota flicks one to Lewis. What a catch by Dion Lewis. And his spinning gives Tennessee a first down. What a play there by the Titans on offense. A gain of 8.
Once again, I go back to that first tackler, and it's tough with Dion Lewis in the middle of the field. You're coming up so fast, that spin move can always get you.
First down and 10. Mariota over the middle, caught again by Jonnu Smith. Darius Leonard on the tackle. Titans holding off on using their timeouts. They hustle to the line.
2 deep zone coverage. You're a little bit soft right here, so that's there to throw the ball in.
Mariota with the pressure coming, steps up and cannot get away from Teray. A loss of 2 on the play. And And now a timeout is called by Mike Vrabel with 48 seconds to go in the first half. Don't forget, coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. Our guys back in New York will have all the scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Been a rough first half for Marcus Mariota. The interception by Quincy Wilson, and his team only has 108 yards of offense.
But he's seeing something that he had not seen on film. He's seeing pressure packages coming from the Colts. They had only blitzed 5 times on third down. They've come after him time and time again here. The last down they came after him. You look at him now, that looks like they're ready to come again.
Third down and 3. We did see 2 early blitzes by the Colts defense on third down. Will they do it again here? They're not, but the rush is getting there. Mariota steps up, dives, and he's got the first down. By a hair, Jabal sheared on the tackle, and the clock continues to tick now. Titans
You've
not
got 2
using a
timeouts.
timeout.
Yeah.
30 seconds to go. Mariota, and that's caught by Sharp out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
You caught yourself about 15 seconds. Yes, you would have used the down up, but maybe you thought that you could have gotten something a little further down the field, but that's not great clock management right there.
Mariota has been sacked more than any other quarterback in terms of percentage of dropbacks this season. Andrew Luck, the low end of that category. 3 sacks today for the Colts D. Mariota, and there is number 4.
If I'm Mike Vrabel, I don't know if I'd even use a timeout right here. I might just let the clock run out the way that my quarterback is getting pounded.
He does call timeout, stopping the clock with 16 seconds to go.
I mean, this is a 4-man pressure. You collapse the pocket from the outside, you get a push inside, and then you look at that little, giving them the business there right at the end. You want to be physical with these quarterbacks, and you want to do it in a legal sense. That's what they're doing. And Marcus Mariota is now outside the pocket, seeking medical attention, so he's actually going to have to come out of the game, even though it's a timeout, and Blaine Gabbert is probably going to have to come into the ball game.
So Marcus Mariota is down. The sack gets credited to Danico Autry. Week 1, Mariota hitting a bad spot on his elbow. Lost feeling in his right hand. This time, it appears they're looking at his leg.
Well, not only were they looking at his leg, but while he was on the ground, he was flexing his hand also. So you see his left arm getting bent, right arm, and there's just a lot of body weight on him.
Yeah, they're shaking the right hand as well.
He told us in our meetings when that happened, and I said, you know, for everybody else, it's a funny bone, but for him, it wasn't. You know, the whole arm went numb at the time.
Here's what happened back in week 1 down in Miami. Mariota told us last night, if it was an inch one way or the other, none of this probably would have happened. It just got him in the worst possible spot. Pinched nerve in his elbow, lost feeling in that right hand, had to wear a glove for several games upon his return. No glove now. But now he is out, and Blaine Gabbert is in for his 4th game of the season. He did make 2 starts, but suffered a concussion week 3 against Jacksonville in the first quarter. Mariota had to come in, and Gabbert enters to 3rd down and 14.
Look at the depth of the defense there. They want to keep everything in front of them.
Gabbert to Smith. Smith. And they say his forward progress stopped at the 39-yard line. Titans do have 1 timeout. Now a late flag comes in.
Can't do that. You can't taunt. You can't over-celebrate.
And Mariota heading to the Tennessee
After the
locker
play was
room.
over, unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 30. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
That is an absolutely brutal penalty on George Odom, which will move Tennessee into field goal range.
Odom comes in. He's about the fourth person in on the tackle and comes in also with his helmet. So maybe that's where you see that out in the open. An unnecessary hit, which gives the Titans a chance to get a field goal.
Odom, the undrafted rookie out of Central Arkansas, a Millington, Tennessee native. But the penalty makes it a 42-yard field goal attempt now for Ryan Suckup, who's 17 out of 20 on the year. Frank Reich does have the option of potentially icing Suckup. He has all three of his timeouts. Reich will not use him. Suckup's kick on the way, and Suckup is good. So Odom, the penalty is costly. It leads to 3 points, and Tennessee avoids the shutout in the first half. It's 24-3 in favor of the Colts. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station. At the half, the Colts have a 24-3 lead on the Titans. And just a moment ago, an incredible ceremony here at Lucas Oil Stadium as Reggie Wayne became the 15th member inducted into the Colts Ring of Honor. He spent his entire 14-year career with the Colts. In NFL history, 10th all-time career receptions and yards. Many of his former teammates on hand, including Peyton Manning, to see the ceremony today for Reggie Wayne. Back in the booth with the Hall of Famer James Lofton, I'm Andrew Catalon. When we met with Frank Reich, we asked him his impressions about Reggie Wayne. He said toughness is what really came to mind. How about you? What were your thoughts of Reggie Wayne's playing days?
The thing that I heard about him is that he was a 7-day guy, and by that, he was good every day of the week, whether it's at practice, game day, preparation, film study. He always wanted to give his very best, and he did it each and every day of the week.
Well, I think he'd want to be a part of this offense today for the Colts. If they rolled up 24 points in the first half, everything seems to be clicking for Frank Reich, Andrew Luck, and the Colts offense.
Well, not only the offense, but they've done it on special teams. Sure. They've done it defensively. This has been a team effort. Last week, they had 29 points at halftime. They didn't score in the second half, so there's going to be a push for this offense to continue the great play that they displayed in the first half into the second half.
Several big play highlights in that first half for Indianapolis. How about our gain of the first half? It was a big gain from Andrew Luck to T.Y. Hilton, 68 yards and the touchdown.
If we were worried about T.Y. Hilton and how big of a factor he's going to play, over 100 yards receiving in the first half, plus a 40-yard pass interference penalty that helped the Colts get another score.
Take a look at the quarterback comparison. And Andrew Luck with a big first half, 12 out of 17, 195 yards and the touchdown. And now the quarterback story for Tennessee is Marcus Mariota, left in the second quarter with an injury. As you take another look at what happened to Mariota. This is what happened to Mariota. And he came up shaking his right hand. Exited, went to the locker room. And we'll see what happens here in the second half as the Colts will get the football first. But there is Blaine Gabbert, who did come in for the one play that Mariota missed before the field goal by Suckup put Tennessee on the scoreboard.
And the dilemma that I think almost every one of the 32 teams in the National Football League is under is that on game day, they tend to suit up two quarterbacks. You have an emergency guy on your roster who you just hope never has to enter the game. But it's tough when you only have two guys out there and one guy goes down.
Suckup made a 42-yard field goal to close out the first half. Kicking away here to begin the second half. It's returnable for Pascal. Pascal hit hard by Brendan Trawick at the 24-yard line with a flag down. Trawick went to the Pro Bowl last year for special teams in his second season with the Titans.
During the return, holding number 50. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
If you're just joining us, right before the game, Tennessee defensive coordinator Dean Pease needed medical attention and was taken to a local hospital. That's all the information we have right now, but you can only imagine what that meant for the Tennessee sideline, not only feeling for their defensive coordinator, but also then trying to adjust without their defensive coordinator. We assume that Mike Vrabel, who called the plays last year as the Texans defensive coordinator, is now calling the plays. I certainly wish Dean Pease well, as Andrew Luck, somehow T.Y. Hilton caught that one. I don't know how, but he did. And for T.Y. Hilton, that's his 5th catch of the game.
You had it covered, you had man-to-man, you have a linebacker who's closing in, it bounces off the hands of the defensive back and then into the arms of T.Y. Hilton. So the bounces are now going in the way of the Colts.
Goes in the books as his 7-yard pickup. T.Y. Hilton has his 2nd 100-yard receiving game of the season and the 30th of his career, 3rd in franchise history. Hines, nice cut back by Hines, and he's got the first down. Wesley Woodyard on the tackle, but not before Hines picks up 6.
You know, we talked about these tight ends and all the receiving records that they're closing in on, but we forget that they're also excellent blockers. Mo Alley Cox is good, Doyle's good blocking. These guys take great pride in what they're doing. They run their feet. They don't use their hands to grab and hold. It's a nice positive game.
Still no sacks allowed today by this Indianapolis offensive line. LaRaven Clark has checked in as an extra offensive lineman here. And it doesn't help because Hines is thrown down by Casey. Hines will lose a yard on that play. 2nd and 11. Well, in the second quarter, the Tennessee defense allowed 17 points, which is more than they allowed in 4 games this year, including the last 2, when they only gave up 14 to the Cowboys and 10 to the Patriots. 2nd and 11, Luck, quick pass to Rodgers. Rodgers trying to get to the outside, and Vaccaro rips him down at the 33-yard line. Marcus Mariota has just come back out to the Tennessee sideline, so we'll see if he's able to go back in when the Titans get the football.
You know, it's funny, we watch him, we're looking for all the simple things. Is he drinking with his left hand? Is he fist bumping with his right? We're trying to get those indications as to whether or not he's going to. Now he switched to drinking with his right, so maybe he is okay.
Mariota 10 out of 13 for 85 yards passing in the first half. And officially now from the Titans, he has an elbow injury, which was the injury in week 1. His return is questionable. Marlon Mack has the handoff, and Woodyard makes another tackle. Woodyard, the reigning AFC Defensive Player of the Week after a team-high 10 tackles and a sack and a half against the Patriots. And that's his 6th tackle today. Saw the Colts go very quickly in the first half. This drive has been a bit more deliberate to open up the second half, protecting a 3-touchdown lead.
Navy, Linda, Jonah.
Luck doing so much at the line. Quick pass to the right side, caught by Hilton, who nearly got away from Adoree Jackson. T.Y. Hilton has been targeted 6 times today, and he's caught all 6. And now the Colts will hurry up to the line for this 3rd down and short. Call it 3rd and 1. Luck, quick handoff. Mack hit hard by Woodyard, and that spot is not going to be enough.
It's decision time. You're up 21 points. The last drive that the Titans had, they got 3 out of it because of a late hit by your defense. So now you're 4th down. Here comes the punting unit.
Yeah, Frank Reich thinking about it, but up by 3 touchdowns. He's going to send out his punter, Rigoberto Sanchez. Sanchez's first punt covered 53 yards. Adoree Jackson, the deep man. Jackson fair catch at the 16, and now who's going to come out, Mariota or Gabbert? Find out when we come back. Blaine Gabbert is the Tennessee quarterback. Marcus Mariota on the sideline, still trying to get his fingers. You saw him working on that. We told you an elbow injury, questionable to return. You gotta hope from Mariota's perspective it didn't come back. The loss of feeling in his right hand, which is what he experienced earlier in the season. But for now, it's Gabbert handing off to Dion Lewis, who gets to the 20-yard line. Mariota finally healthy. Didn't have to wear a glove the last 2 games in this one because the feeling came back in his right hand, and you can tell that he was working on that right hand again, and see if he can return. As Gabbert now with 2nd down and 7. Play fake, Gabbert, quick pass, and that was a bullet right on the money to Tajay Sharp. We met with Matt LaFleur, the offensive coordinator, earlier this season. He said that Gabbert can absolutely rip it. He has an incredible arm, and you saw it right there.
You're talking about a player who was the 10th player picked in the draft when he came out to Jacksonville. So he has that arm talent. He has that arm strength. And if you're playing defense for the Indianapolis Colts, you can't breathe a sigh of relief because the backup is in.
It's Dion Lewis. Tennessee ground game has not gotten going today. Just 46 yards rushing to this point. And that's for a Tennessee offense that in the last 3 games has rushed for at least 150 yards all 3.
I don't think that you can state that enough, Andrew, because you look at what they've been able to do against the run and then the ability to rush the passer.
Gabbert back to the air. And Smith juggles it, holds on, and shoved out of bounds right near the chains by Kenny Moore. For Jonnu Smith, that's his 5th catch, and that ties a career high. And now 3rd down with this crowd. Still feeling good after the Reggie Wayne halftime ceremony, making some noise.
This 3rd and 3, probably a passing situation. 2 guys that you really want to clue in on. Where is Corey Davis? And then where is Dion Lewis? Davis coming in motion, Lewis next to the quarterback.
Gabbert over the middle, intercepted. He threw it right to Darius Leonard. Leonard still on his feet with a flag down. And Leonard out of bounds. For Darius Leonard, that is his 1st interception. And Gabbert threw it right to him. Second pick today by the Colts defense as John Hussey sorts out that penalty on the return.
I'm always looking for a low block on the receiving team. I didn't see that. You saw kind of a pull of the back of the jersey. I don't know
the
if it's a
result of
horse
the play is
call.
an interception. During the interception return, personal foul, face mask, number 17 of Tennessee. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. Automatic. 1st down.
That's on Cameron Batson. I mean, at this point, Darius Leonard is definitely the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. Another monster game, and look at this.
Well, you're getting crossing routes, and Leonard is standing there kind of spying the quarterback. He moves up close where he's almost underneath the throw, and you saw 19 sitting down right in the middle because it's zone coverage and a little bit of the face mask there. And he had a little bit of the jersey in the back, too.
So far today, Leonard 7 tackles, 1 sack, a forced fumble, and an interception. Came into the day as the NFL's leading tackler, now over 100 on the season. And the Colts take over with great field position at the Tennessee 22-yard line. Empty backfield for Luck. Looking for a quick strike. Luck, end zone for Hines, incomplete. It was Jayon Brown, the inside linebacker, who had the coverage.
That's nice coverage right there because you're off. Little stop and go route. You don't bite on the short route because you figure if they throw short, you can come up and make the tackle. So nice job by Jayon Brown.
Frank Reich's offense just outside the red zone at the 21-yard line. 8:12 to go, 3rd quarter. Colts trying to add to their lead. Here comes the pressure. Luck steps up, fires, and it's caught at the 13-yard line by Ryan Grant. We met with Frank Reich, James, and he said, you know, this could be one of those games when Eric Ebron is a decoy.
Right.
Ebron still does not have a catch, yet the Colts in the red zone already with 24 points. It just gives you an idea of how many different weapons Frank Reich and Andrew Luck have to work with.
And that was an interesting decision by Andrew Luck. A lot of room to run open in front of him, but keeping his eyes down the field, taking the pass as opposed to exposing his body.
3rd down and 3. Will they go to Ebron here? Luck throws on the run, flag down. Hilton's got it. Did he stay in? No signal yet.
Looks
And now
like
they're
they've
saying
marked
he's
him
down
out,
at the
yeah.
3. There's also a flag that came out. No matter what, it's a first down, assuming the penalty's not on the Colts. Hilton is saying, hey, I kept my feet in, but the official was right there.
Holding. Defense number 26. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
We're going to see the penalty. You mug Ebron as he's trying to get by you. But Andrew, you would agree with me. T.Y. Hilton is a small receiver, right? But he is so strong. I mean, look at that. He's still in bounds.
It certainly
If
looked
you
like
ask
that.
me, there's going to be a challenge flag thrown on this. The coaching staff upstairs has to be talking to Frank Reich. They've seen it. We've seen it.
He's grabbing his red flag.
Yeah, here comes the red flag right now.
The underhand toss by Frank Reich.
Yeah.
Trying to win.
That's when you're up by 21. It's the overhand toss if you're down by 21. I mean, this is just strength. You look at Adoree Jackson's trying to pull him down, and that heel does not come down.
Indianapolis is challenging the ruling on the field that the runner was out of bounds short of the goal line. Timeout.
Doesn't look like that foot came down out of bounds. We'll have the verdict when we return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Kay Jewelers. For all the moments, for love, forever. Domino's. Order online at Domino's.com. And by State Farm. Here to help life go right.
Adam Vinatieri's on the field. That's because the play has been overturned. It is a touchdown for T.Y. Hilton and the Colts. Frank Reich wins his first career challenge. He had been 0 for 2. Second touchdown of the day for T.Y. Hilton, and the extra point is good. It's 31-3. And now some extracurricular after the extra point.
It looked like Jack Doyle was, no, that's not Jack Doyle, that's a backup lineman. That's Mark Lewinsky, the starting right guard. He was pinned the other guy. He's going back to his high school wrestling days, probably.
Second 2-touchdown game for T.Y. Hilton in his last 4 as we take another look.
You know, if you have cleats that are long and they're screwing in, those probably touch out of bounds on the white. Those nice short molded cleats with the fluorescent green, you can tell that they didn't touch the white. And T.Y. Hilton steps in.
You're giving an assist to the equipment manager today.
Yeah, I love it. Look at that. I don't know if my ankle could bend like that anymore.
And then after the decision was announced by John Hussey, the Colts all gathered, waiting for it. Yep, it's a touchdown. Let's run to the end zone. Now, is this rock, paper, scissors we got going on? I think it is. Chester Rogers and T.Y. Hilton. Ooh, it looked like T.Y. T.Y. went paper, and I think that covered the rock. And T.Y. won. Colts are winning everything today.
Yeah, nobody's covered T.Y.
Yes, very fair. SEC on CBS features some great Thanksgiving weekend football. On Friday, Arkansas takes on Missouri, and then Saturday, the 83rd Iron Bowl, Auburn against number 1 Alabama. Coming up Thanksgiving weekend on CBS. T.Y. Hilton, 131 yards receiving today, and doing it on a day that honored Reggie Wayne. As T.Y. said earlier this week, Reggie Wayne taught me so much, including one of the biggest things he said was how to break down film. I think T.Y. Hilton's going to enjoy looking at the film of this game. tomorrow at practice. Blaine Gabbert remains the quarterback for the Titans, and he completes it to Anthony Ferkser. And Ferkser gets 9 yards, his first catch today. Kenny Moore and Quincy Wilson on the tackle.
It becomes an exercise in doing your assignment if you're on defense, not getting too greedy, not biting on a double move. Defensive linemen are going to rotate, getting after the passer.
Lewis, a loss. Dion Lewis, who's had a great year for Tennessee, but he came into the game with 20 runs that lost yardage, second only to Adrian Peterson for the most in the NFL.
And not a big average per catch at 3.5. Or per carry, rather, at 3.5 yards per carry.
3rd down and 4. Ferkser again, he's got the first down. So Anthony Ferkser, who had 3 catches the entire season, now has 2 on this drive.
Well, a lot of this is going to be throwing the ball underneath. The Colts are primarily a zone team. We saw some pressures and man coverage in the first half. They don't really need to come after the quarterback with 5 or 6 guys and give them a chance to go one-on-one on the outside very often.
Here comes Teray. Pressure gets there, and it was actually Sheard who got there first. Teray coming off the outside, pocket collapsed, and Sheard pounces for the sack.
It is a drill for the Colts, and by that I mean this is a pass rush drill. You're going to be one-on-one. You go from normally playing defensive end, you move over the guard. You give them that outside move, you swim to the inside, and that inside swim move you know because you know which way the offensive line is sliding and which way the center's looking.
This is a Colts defense that had 4 sacks in their last 5 games. They have 5 today against Tennessee. Gabbert too high off the hands of Jonnu Smith, and it's 3rd and long. The pregame Colts pass rush consultant Robert Mathis, former Colt great, working with the guys up front, doing all sorts of different drills, and whatever they're doing, it's working with the 5 sacks today.
When I saw him at practice, and I've seen him several times, I always am amazed that he wasn't that big, but he was such a terror on the field. 123 sacks on his own.
4-man front on defense. Gabbert to Smith. He's got a new career high in catches, but he does not have a first down. And Mike Vrabel does not hesitate. He sends out his punter. What a disastrous day for the Tennessee Titans. Came in riding high after beating the Cowboys on Monday Night Football in Dallas. And they just blew out the Patriots last week in Nashville, and nothing has gone their way today.
It was interesting. Vrabel was insistent upon the fact that they weren't building momentum, that every game was its own identity. Well, maybe he wished that they had been building a little more momentum.
You're watching the NFL on CBS, your home of Super Bowl 53. Super Bowl season on CBS, some Super Bowl memories. They're all good for Adam Vinatieri. A pair of game-winning kicks to his name as a member of the Patriots. 48-yarder as time expired to beat the Rams, and then with 4 seconds left, broke a 29-all tie with Carolina. CBS, the proud home of Super Bowl 53 this season in Atlanta, 77 days away and counting. And Vinatieri has not had to do too much today. Only 1 field goal for Vinatieri. The rest have been extra points as the Colts offense back to work. Luck throwing on first down, and Inman holds on. Dory Jackson had the tight coverage, a gain of 6.
That was a trust throw. That's a throw to the wide side of the field. The defensive back is squatted on it. You're going to throw it on a rope, on a line to Dontrell Inman. And he couldn't even bring the ball back into his body. I mean, that's just sure hand strength right there.
Keep in mind, Luck, 6 straight games with at least 3 touchdown passes. Just the 3rd quarterback in NFL history to do that in the same season. He's got 2 touchdowns today. Mack up the middle, first down all the way out to the 30-yard line. Marlon Mack with 11 carries for 33 yards and a touchdown today.
You just got to be super impressed with this offensive line, washing the defense down, and then Doyle coming around and destroying the linebacker right in the hole. impressive performance by this offensive line.
Their scores in the AFC South. Houston in first place, a 6-3 record right now, a 3-point lead on Washington, and the Jaguars, who have been struggling, a 9-0 lead on the Steelers. Very tight in the AFC South. Mack has a hole. Marlon Mack, ooh, he's tripped up. Otherwise, we'd had a lot more yards to run. It was Logan Ryan who was able to catch up with Mack, but 7 more for Marlon Mack.
You know, we watch that play and we think it's just high step, kick step out of it. But remember, Mack is seeing something at ground level a lot different than you're seeing when you're up high watching it, or you're watching it sitting there with your feet up on the couch.
That Colts offensive line, again, has done a remarkable job. No sacks. Could be the 5th straight game if Tennessee's not able to get to Andrew Luck. Hines lost the football, and Woodyard had it and lost it. It goes out of bounds, and Woodyard can't believe it. Wow, Wesley Woodyard had that ball and slipped right through.
That is Hines' first fumble of the year, but you see the hand come in there, punching it out right on the ball. He has the ball high and tight, right against his numbers like you'd want him to, away from the defenders. But sometimes even all of that doesn't help. And like I said earlier, the bounces were going toward the Colts when T.Y. Hilton caught that ball. Reggie Wayne could probably step in and catch a couple right now, too.
Just Sharif Finch who forced the fumble. Instead, it's 3rd down and 4 after Woodyard could not corral it. Luck goes back the other way to an open Inman. He slips, gets back up. He's got the first down. Mentioned this earlier, but Wright and Luck cannot sing the praises enough of Dontrell Inman. They call him a dependable route runner. And Frank Reich told us that Andrew Luck has gone to him each week and said, we got to get the ball to Inman more. He really loved Dontrell Inman, who didn't sign until the middle of October.
And when you're talking about dependability, when you're asked to run an 8-yard route and you run it at 8 yards 10 times in a row, you don't run it at 7 the next or 9 one time. And I think that's what Dontrell Inman gives him. The ability to run it at the right depth, but also to understand concepts and how you mix and match with the other players around you.
Play clock at 2. Luck to Mack into Tennessee territory. 8-yard pickup from Marlon Mack as we approach 1 minute to go in the 3rd quarter.
That protection, and we've harped on it over and over again, because Andrew Luck on that play action pass, he wants something way down the field. And they start with a 7-man protection, and that running back comes out late. Look at that, 212 days or whatever.
212 drop
44. It looks like they could last for 212 days the way they're blocking for him.
The countdown continues.
Count up.
Yeah, that works. Luck in trouble. Ooh, got away from it. Doyle couldn't hold on. Nearly had a sack.
Yeah. But he high-stepped. You saw that high kick out of it?
And a flag was just dropped well after the play ended.
It's in that area of illegal contact. But Andrew Luck is out of the pocket, so do they pick it up?
Ineligible downfield on the offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
It's on the right guard, Mark Glowinski. Doesn't take away what this offensive line has done for Andrew Luck, who's had as much time as he's needed.
And it's not like the defenders are closing in when he decides to get rid of the ball. It's a clean pocket.
Hey, James, one of your keys in our open off the top of the broadcast was Dirty Luck.
No.
I can't remember him being on the ground today.
Not happening.
Luck completes it to Hilton. Out of bounds. But another Indianapolis first down. 8th catch for T.Y. Hilton.
On that last play, Tennessee decides to come with a blitz, but watch Marlon Mack come across the formation and then pick up the blitzer. That smart football we talked about is running back coach Tom Rathman. Marlon Mack is the leader of this group. He's the veteran. He's in his second year. So to be able to do all those little things and to be able to do them correctly, that's good positional coaching that they're getting from Tom Rathman.
We are through 3 quarters in Indianapolis. Colts lead at 31-3. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Start of the 4th quarter in Indianapolis with our producer Steve McKee, director Andy Goldberg, James Lofton. I'm Andrew Catalan, our entire crew here in Indy. Reggie Wayne chatting with Dallas Clark as several of Wayne's former teammates in the building, as Wayne now has his name up here at Lucas Oil Stadium as the 15th member of the Colts Ring of Honor. He's got a lot to be proud of today. 31-3 in favor of Indianapolis as Marlon Mack crosses the 40 and gets to the 38-yard line. Rashaan Evans, the first-round pick out of Alabama, makes the tackle.
Those big, giant laminated play sheets that the play callers have, you have plays for each and every down and distance situation. And you have like your 5 or 6 plays that you like on first down, the 5 or 6 plays you like on 2nd and 7. Frank Reich is going to run out of plays. and everything is run really well so far. So he's looking at that list. He had to put on his glasses to see the small print down at the bottom.
Second and 3. Mack, second effort, he's got the first down. We asked Frank Reich about his red zone menu because, as he told us earlier in the year, he thought it would be a lot of Jack Doyle. Yeah. Now the emergence of Eric Ebron, he said, yeah, that menu's probably about 10% bigger than it was earlier in the year. But with so many different concepts, there's so much that he could do, and now he doesn't like this. Is his center, Ryan Kelly, is down on the ground. And a timeout on the field. We'll be back to
the NFL on CBS is sponsored by Fidelity Investments, where we're redefining value for investors. And by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL.
Now the Titans need a Frank Reich-like comeback. They're going to win this one. Of course, the incredible wild card game, Buffalo and the Houston Oilers. Reich leading the Bills all the way back. James was on that team with Reich. Hilton on the sideline. Did he stay in? Yes, he did. T.Y. Hilton having a day. Catch number 9 for Hilton.
Play action pass game requires great protection up front because you have to have time to run these deep crossing routes. You get into protection, getting balls right on target.
And Mike Vrabel's going to challenge that play. He didn't think that Hilton got both feet down.
So Tennessee is challenged the ruling on the field of a completed catch. Timeout.
And they're going to lose this challenge, Andrew. 1, 2.
See if John Hussey and Al Riveron agree with James when we come back. In Indianapolis, the call on the field stands, so Mike Vrabel is now 0 for 4 on challenges this year. So T.Y. Hilton's been targeted 9 times, has 9 receptions. His 11th game of at least 150 yards receiving, tied for first now in franchise history with Marvin Harrison, who's also here today for Reggie Wayne. Evan Bain is the center as Ryan Kelly has gone to the Indianapolis locker room. It's Mack. Mack to the 10.
You know, when we opened the game, we were so enamored with the tight ends. T.Y. Hilton has had a great game. But as I watch Mo Alley-Cox block, as I watch Jack Doyle do his workmanlike job, they are great blockers, run blockers. And obviously they're good pass catchers. So they just add that extra element that even when they're on the field, because some tight ends run out there and they're just wide receivers in disguise.
This is the 12th play of the drive. 2nd down and 3. Mack hit hard. Finch and Brown combining to make the tackle, and that's going to be very close to a first down. And it is a first down, so it's 1st and goal for the Colts. Eric Ebron has just come into the huddle. He has not even been targeted today. As we told you earlier, Reich said this could be one of the games when Ebron is a decoy. It's played out that way. Do they look for him here?
Well, they're splitting him out wide. He's going up against Adoree Jackson.
Top of your screen. Luck pulls it back. Rolling right. Throws on the run. Caught! Touchdown! Flag is down as Dontrell Inman reeled it in. Malcolm Butler had the coverage for the Titans, and now we await the flag.
Inman took a pretty vicious shot right at the end, and somebody launched themselves right into him.
Also, additionally, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 21, hit on a defenseless receiver. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Dontrell Inman with his first touchdown as a Colt.
He tries to turn his shoulders, so I'll give him that much, but defenseless receiver, I've always had a hard time with that terminology, but it means you have to let him come down, start the catch, because if you hit him in the head, neck, and shoulder area, then they're going to call him defenseless.
For Inman, it's his first touchdown in nearly a year, December 3rd of last year when he was a member of the Chicago Bears. And now it's 3 touchdowns for Andrew Luck. 7 games in a row, he's got at least 3 scores.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Corona Extra. Find your beach. Verizon, the best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network. And by FedEx, possibilities, what we deliver by delivering.
The Colts on the verge of their first 4-game win streak since 2014. They have a 38-3 lead. And because of the penalty on Malcolm Butler, who continues to struggle this year for Tennessee, Sanchez will kick off from the 50. And this one has the distance. It is wide left. The tradition continues on Thanksgiving Day with football on CBS. A great rivalry between Chicago and Detroit. Kick off your day of family and football with the NFL Today at noon Eastern right here on CBS. So it's now 7 games in a row with at least 3 touchdown passes for Andrew Luck. Just the 3rd quarterback in NFL history to do that in a single season. Tom Brady, the record, 10. Peyton Manning, 8. And Manning in the building to see Luck do it for the 7th straight time. Blaine Gabbert remains the Tennessee quarterback. Marcus Mariota suffered an elbow injury in the 2nd quarter, has not returned. Flag is down on the reception by Derrick Henry.
Holding. Offense, number 67. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So Tennessee came in as the least penalized team in the NFL. They have a season high in penalty yardage today. 7 penalties for 97 yards.
You see the takedown right there in the middle of your screen, but the pressure that the offensive line is under, because you can run a draw, you can run an occasional screen, but most of it that you're going to do is going to come in the drop back game. So it's a pass rushing drill for these defensive linemen.
Gabbert screen, Lewis could not hold on. Frank Reich said one of the keys today was defending the screen. They've done a good job of that. Nothing has gotten going in the screen game for the Titans.
You've got to hustle to the screen once they complete it, but you've got to have awareness. If you're on the defensive line and all of a sudden you have an ultimate free rush at the quarterback, like that guy was your brother-in-law, he just said, oh, I'll see you later, go get the quarterback. That's a screen. That's when a screen is coming.
There's Henry up the middle. And Henry across the 30-yard line for a big pickup of 16. Clayton Geathers on the tackle.
That's a serious right down the middle, right up the gut run. Leonard is there, and Leonard takes on the blocker instead of taking one shoulder on the blocker, one shoulder on the runner. And it's a direct path for Derrick Henry.
That's his longest run of the season, 16 yards for Derrick Henry, and it sets up 3rd down and 4. Tennessee today 4 for 10 on third downs. Gabbard incomplete, looking for Corey Davis. And Mike Vrabel will punt with 10:55 to go.
You hear backup quarterbacks always talk about not getting the reps in practice, not getting the timing with the starting receivers. I think a lot of teams devote so much time to getting the starter ready. You have so many plays in the game plan. You need to devote some time to that backup guy so that he can feel comfortable when and if he has to come in.
Punt number 6 for Brett Kern. Chester Rogers on the return from his own 17-yard line. A big return earlier, not that time, hit hard at the 20. And Jacoby Brissett has a helmet on. He is going to come into the game as Andrew Luck not needed in a 35-point game. Jacoby Brissett is the new Indianapolis quarterback. Andrew Luck's day is done. 3 touchdowns for Luck, 297 yards passing. Second year with the Colts for Brissett, who started 15 games a year ago. And Andrew Luck, big smile, can just watch as Wilkins is the running back, and Wilkins across the 25-yard line. A couple of injuries for the Colts to pass along. Ryan Kelly and Marcus Hunt are both out the rest of the game with knee injuries. And Luck is not the only offensive starter to come out of the game. Left tackle Anthony Costanzo has been lifted for LaRaven Clark. Frank Reich has the luxury to mix in a few of the backups, and he'll do just that with a 35-point advantage as we approach 10 minutes to go. All the starters out there on defense for Tennessee. Wilkins gets a couple. NFL Today update. JB and Phil Simms.
Adrian Peterson's legs looking young.
Yeah, they're looking young a couple times today. Here we go. Takes it inside, bounces outside, shows that he still has the speed to get it done. A 7-yard touchdown. Washington up 21-20. Let's throw it back to the handsome duo of Andrew Kettelon and James Lofton.
Wow.
We will take it, Phil.
Wow.
We'll take it.
Phil is the most handsome studio guy I've ever seen in my life.
Wow. Boomer's not happy now.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 55. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down. This penalty is first in the category. If number 55 gets another one, he will be ejected.
We had a nice chat with Jayon Brown last night when we met with the Titans. He's called for this penalty.
And when we came into this ball game, we listed the tight ends first in scoring, top 10 in a lot of other categories. It's a very prideful group, and this is a tough performance to try and live through, especially when the opposing team starts to substitute players and your starters are still out on the field.
Wilkins again. And Evans mixing it up with Nelson after that play. Hey, James, for the Titans' perspective, no one's going to make excuses on that sideline. But again, as we mentioned, Dean Pease taken to an area hospital before the game and needed medical attention. Can only imagine what that did for the Tennessee sideline and Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, it just jolts you because you can't take your mind off of what's happening to your teammate, a coaching staff member or administrative staff.
Jacoby Brissett has his first completion of the season. It goes to Chester Rogers.
Now, Jacoby Brissett has been tasked with a pretty big task. Don't get sacked. Whatever you do while you're on the field, we've got something going here, Jacoby. You don't take a sack.
Coming up on 5 games that the Colts have not allowed a sack. It's 3rd down and 9.
Coming up on 45 hours, I think, too.
8:20 to go. Oh, the pressure's coming. Brissett gets away from the sack and fires incomplete, but the streak is still alive. Wow. James, you almost jinxed it there, you know. You really almost jinxed it, and Colts fans would have had you.
Oh, but it wouldn't have been me. But this is great by Jacoby Brissett. Landry comes, their speed rusher from the outside, or Rakpo, the other speed rusher. and stepping up in a timely manner.
So Sanchez will punt. Adoree Jackson will let it bounce. At the 7, will it stay in? It will. What a punt. Rigoberto Sanchez came into the game 3rd in the NFL in net punting. A 43-yard average, and he's going to get 49 on that one. How about Andrew Luck today? 3 more touchdown passes. He now has 29 on the season.
You got to remember, we were here in week 1, and there was some concern. How much would he be able to throw? What was the arm going to be like? Well, you can see even from his vantage point, he's able to see the field. He's able to move. He's able to do everything that he had been able to do prior to missing all of last season. So Andrew Luck has returned.
7th straight game with at least 3 touchdown passes. We'll try to keep it going next week when the Colts host the Dolphins. Henry across the 10. Now, James, you look at this Indianapolis team. Started 1-5. Now they're about to win their 4th straight. 5-5. They're in that wild card race. Heck, they could even really still win the division. They're only right behind the Texans, who are locked in a tight game with the Redskins right now. What's the ceiling for Indianapolis this year?
And it's the same for teams on both sides of the field, even for Tennessee over there. It's one game at a time. You are a young team, first-time head coach with your unit. You've got to just focus in on the task at hand and not get too enamored with where you're going. And looking at Derrick Henry, he's saying, hey, maybe I should be playing a little more. And I'm going to go out here and give you everything I have every time you determine to give me the ball. So it's one play at a time, whether you're on the Colts, whether you're on the Titans. And Derrick Henry, he's getting hit right at the line of scrimmage. I mean, that run could have been over there. Then it's 5 yards down the field, 7. He's putting shoulders down. He's making guys pay to come up and tackle him. And that's what you do when you're 6'3", 247 pounds.
And this time Henry runs into Tyquan Lewis, the rookie out of Ohio State. AFC South standings, we just mentioned that Houston and Washington in a very tight ball game in Washington. Texans came into the day with a 1-game lead over Tennessee, but here come the Colts, about to take it to 5-5 on the year. Certainly one of the big stories in Tennessee this week will be the health of Marcus Mariota, as Blaine Gabbert hands off to Henry. Inside 6 minutes to go. How about these numbers since 1990 and what your record is in terms of your chances to get to the playoffs? If the Titans had got to 6-4, a 61% chance. 5-5 teams, only 27%. So huge swing.
Wait. You emphasize that wrong. At 5-5, you're telling me that there's still a chance? I will take it. Even at 4-6, there's a slim chance. So you always have to play. That 10-win mark is where you're really trying to get to.
3rd down and 6. Gabbert over the middle. It's caught for a first down. That's Tajay Sharp reeling it in for his 3rd grab of the day. And, you look at this game, James, 35 points, but if indeed Marcus Mariota is going to miss some time, this is big for Blaine Gabbert to try to get back in a rhythm with some guys that he had earlier in the season.
It really is, because when we talked to Mike Vrabel, he pointed out, the fact that the last 2 weeks, 28, 34 points, that their offense felt like they were humming along a little bit, and along with a defense that was playing well. Everything kind of went off the wheels today for the Titans.
Derrick Henry again continues to take the carries for the Titans here late in the 4th quarter.
The interesting thing, when you get in a game that's a blowout in the National Football League, you don't have the luxury of putting the freshmen in. You don't have a lot of backups. The Titans come into this ball game with 2 running backs. Deion Lewis, Derrick Henry. Now, they may have a bunch of defensive backs who were all-star running backs while they're in high school, but they only have 2 guys. And so you're equally slim on both sides of the roster when you get down to these game day decisions. Who's going to play, who's going to sit.
Gabbert gets rid of it, completes it again to Sharp, who's tripped up. Nice tackle by Kenny Moore. How about Andrew Luck now? He's about to go to 10-0 all-time against the Titans. Since 1970, he'll be tied with John Elway for the most wins against one team without a loss. Elway went 10-0 against the Patriots from 1984 to 1998. And now Luck will be 10-0 against the Tennessee Titans. 3rd down and 8 as we approach 3 minutes to play. Gabbert, deep shot over the middle. Firkser holds on. So Anthony Firkser, who had 3 catches the entire season, has 3 catches today. And that is a career-long 28 yards.
You start with the pass protection. He gets it in the pocket, and then it's his zone defense. And he's going to be able to find the open guy in that zone and get him the ball because he has the arm strength. He can get the ball there, but it's the protection. That's where the starting point.
Gabbert, a little low for Corey Davis. Coming up on the State Farm postgame show, join JB, Phil, Nate Boomer, Coach Cower, all the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's coming up on the State Farm postgame show. The Titans have their fingers crossed that number 8 will be okay for next Monday night. A big game for Tennessee on the road in Houston. On 2nd and 10, they go back to Henry. Henry to the 25-yard line. Mariota back in the 2nd quarter, hit hard and came up shaking his right hand. It was the right hand that was injured after the elbow injury caused nerve damage in week 1. He lost feeling in that hand. We don't know if it's the same injury or what he's feeling right now. We were just told elbow injury, questionable to return. Obviously did not come back in, but you have to hope that it's not the same thing that happened to Mariota earlier in the season. 2 minutes to go in Indianapolis. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, reminding you not to drink and ride your horse. And by USAA, official NFL salute to service partner.
Two minutes to go in Indianapolis. It's been all Colts today. They have a 38-3 lead. It's 3rd down and 5. And some movement up front. It's going to be against Indianapolis.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 93. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
Foul on Jabal Sheard. Coming up, State Farm postgame show. Our guys back in New York have all the scores and highlights coming up on the State Farm postgame show. So 1st down and 10. Gabbert throwing off his back foot to the end zone. Caught by Michael Pruitt at the goal line, and he is down at the 1. First catch of the season for Michael Pruitt.
When you're playing against a zone team, you know where the holes in the zone on 2 deep are. They're in that far corners. They're right in the middle of the field. This is a nice dime by Blaine Gabbert, just dropping that ball right in there.
This is the first time the Titans have been in the red zone all game. And now they got the ball at the 1-yard line after that 19-yard catch for Michael Pruitt. His first catch in 2 years since he was a member of the Bears. Henry, the running back. Gabbert throwing end zone, and it is held on to. Yes, touchdown, Tennessee. Tajay Sharp with his 2nd touchdown of the year. Now That was very close. Let's take another look.
You know, in baseball, you have a lot of unwritten rules. You don't have unwritten rules in football that say, get the ball into one, you're down by a bunch of points, you have to run the ball. You do whatever you want. You continue to play hard, and that's a great attempt by Tajay Sharp. Is going after this ball.
Great play.
All these scoring plays are obviously reviewed, and they'll have to determine whether or not he had possession of the ball when he touches out of bounds.
And it has been confirmed. Yeah. It's a touchdown. A great catch by Tajay Sharp. Second touchdown pass of the season for Blaine Gabbert in limited action. A 12-play drive. And the extra point from Suckup is good. With 1:49 to go, it's 38-10. As we mentioned, might not seem like much, but if Mariota is not able to come back next week, it's important for Gabbert in this offense to try to build some good feelings going into that Monday nighter down in Texas against the Texans.
Today's game is brought to you by Lucas Oil.
263 yards of offense for Tennessee today. And when we're done here, you're going to see bonus coverage of a big game, AFC South implications. Right now, the Texans a 2-point lead on Washington with 4:38 to go. You'll see that coming up, some bonus coverage here in the NFL on CBS.
Doesn't it seem like the Texans and Bill O'Brien major in close games? Seems like every game they play week after week, one score here, one score there, up or down either way.
Yeah, and they lost to the Titans week 2 by a field goal,
yep.
And they beat the Colts in overtime in week 4 on a field goal. So they're just going to kick it deep. And it's a touchback. Again, a reminder of what's at stake with that Houston-Washington game being so close. We've updated the standings to give Indianapolis the win. They are now 5-5 along with the Titans, and Jacksonville still up on the Steelers down in Jacksonville. So, man, imagine if Washington comes back to beat Houston. Things will be awfully tight, even more so than they are right now in the AFC South. And for Frank Reich, what a heck of a job. 1-5. And he said, you know, if we're able to get this one, our eyes will be out of the hole. We dug such a big hole at 1-5. Now a win, we can see out of the hole. And the future is bright for this Indianapolis football team. 399 yards of offense, 38 points. And you look at what they have coming up. They'll be home again next week. They have not left Indianapolis in the month of November. Another home game next Sunday against the Miami Dolphins. And then they will be at Jacksonville, at Houston, back-to-back division games on the road. And they'll see the Titans again in Week 17.
Now, Coach Wright would like me to cover up all of this stuff down here because he only wants them to concentrate on one game next week.
Jacoby Brissett takes another knee, so it now will be 5 games in a row that Indianapolis has not been sacked. As you see, Mike Vrabel, what he has upcoming, Monday Night Football at the Texans, and then they'll be home for 2 in a row against the Jets and Jags. Then they go to the Giants, so you see those after Houston, 3 straight games against teams with a losing record, but they're concerns first and foremost are with Dean Pease, the defensive coordinator who was taken to a local hospital. We wish him well. And of course, they're also thinking about Marcus Mariota and how severe his elbow injury is. A lot of questions coming up this week for the Titans, but it's all good for Andrew Luck and the Colts. A 38-10 victory. Luck is now 10-0 in his career against the Tennessee Titans. He finishes with 3 touchdowns and 297 yards passing. The Colts have won 4 games in a row for the first time in 4 years. Final score 38-10. Coming up next, the State Farm postgame show. For James Lofton, this is Andrew Catalon saying so long from Indianapolis, where the Colts roll it up on the Titans 38-10.